Sun Wukong in Apex Legends. What am I looking at? So this is High Energy Heroes, the Chinese version of Apex Legends made by Tencent, the same company that originally worked on Apex Mobile, and a lot of their characters are the exact same as the Apex Legends, with the exact same abilities, but they also feature some characters that have leaked Apex abilities from unreleased Legends, and now this character actually shares one of Lifeline's new abilities. So Sun Wukong is a character in High Energy Heroes, and he has a passive ability, which is this cool gliding, flying ability. Like, it's not the exact same, but it's the same idea and premise. The glide slowly makes you fall to the ground, you can strafe side by side, and it's pretty fast. Like, these developers definitely had the information from Apex and the upcoming Legends in the main game and just ripped them and released them early. Because this Sun Wukong character in High Energy Heroes came out a couple of months ago before Lifeline's rework. So if the High Energy Hero devs are using knowledge from the dev build of Apex during their time working on Apex Mobile, what's to say that the other unique abilities in this game won't eventually come to the main game, or have at the very least been tested for the main game. So let's keep looking at Sun Wukong for a minute. His other ability is this platform thing. It's basically Lifeweaver's ability from Overwatch that lets you raise the platform up in the air whenever you or your teammates step on it, but some of you may remember an early version of Catalyst actually had a raising platform ability as an ultimate. It looked kind of weak, but it was only in the testing stage, and it showed her making a ferrofluid tower beneath her feet to rise her up in the ground. So who knows, in the Apex multiverse, maybe Catalyst had this ability with a rising platform. And then we have Sun Wukong's ultimate. It's pretty wild. He pulls out his stick. Wait a minute, what? So anyway, he takes out his staff and it lets you fire AoE projectiles in a straight line that deal a pretty big amount of damage. Now this isn't like any ability in Apex that I can think of, but low-key, this would be a cool Ashe ultimate. Imagine her slashing her sword and firing rift projectiles at people, maybe ones that throw you into the void and release you on low health, just like the Void Reflex booster kit in the Rift Relic takeover on Apex right now. I could actually see that being an Ashe ultimate rework, and maybe the High Energy Heroes developers already knew about an Ashe rework and put that ability in High Energy Heroes, just like they did with Sun Wukong's passive and Lifeline's glide. Hey, we're probably being schizo, but it's definitely interesting to look at these Apex mobile abilities and imagine them in the main game. And what's pretty wild is just the thought of having someone like Sun Wukong, a god as a legend, is pretty cool, and it seems like a crazy crossover. But we actually did see in Alta's story from the Outlands a universe where she was Sun Wukong. Literally, in her trailer, she tells us a story that in this other universe, she literally was the Monkey King, Sun Wukong. And now that the Apex multiverse is unleashing in Season 23 with the giant rift, maybe it's not out of reach for us to get Sun Wukong in the main game. Of course, I'm only kidding. I don't think Sun Wukong would ever come to the main game of Apex, but some variation of those abilities might come to the main game. What's more likely to happen is the multiverse rifts could be a cool opportunity for Apex Mobile Legends to come to the game, and I'm talking the real Apex Mobile Legends, not the High Energy Heroes ripoffs like Fade and Rhapsody. And Fade did have some cool abilities that are also linked to Titanfall that we're also now seeing glimpses of in the Rift Relic takeover in Apex. I mean, we got Titanfall abilities in Apex right now, such as the hover kits that let you hover while aiming down sight, and the Void Reflex, which is just a rebranded phase reflex that the Ronin Titan had in Titanfall 2. But Fade also had the Phase Rewind, an old pilot boost ability, and the Void Grenade that was leaked to be in development in the main Apex game 11 seasons ago. There was a legend called Phantom that had that ability, so the devs were certainly testing it. And I think we could be closer than ever to seeing some kind of return of the Apex Mobile Legends with all of the multiverse stuff going off, and of course their plans to bring Apex Mobile back as a connected experience in the future, and Apex trying to do everything they can to keep the players active, like the OG mode that we got this season. Oh, and you already know that Chinese Apex had their own version of Fade, but this one had a tactical ability like the Phase Dash from Titanfall, where they could quickly boost forward, and the ultimate was a Phase Rewind that would create portals on either side, a bit like Alta's ultimate in the main Apex game. But in true High Energy Heroes fashion, this version of Fade is a woman. Now, I want to show you a few more things from the Chinese Apex Mobile, where these pretty crazy abilities actually do link with Apex, and maybe we'll see some rendition of them in the future, especially since the next legend should hopefully come next season. It's fun to start speculating some cool abilities that could come to the main game. But we had this dude. Now, you might think at first, hey, is this some version of Seer? Well, despite him having that cool hat, this legend is nothing like Seer. It's like a Chinese version of Revenant Reborn, but a Revenant Reborn that never actually made it to Apex because they have this weird phase duel ability. That's right, they have the option where they can select an enemy player with their ultimate and it will put you both into the void, and then you can just battle it out just 1v1. Literally no one else can affect you. You both just have to 1v1 until one of you is victorious. And this was actually leaked when Revenant Reborn was in development. Some sources were saying this ability, exactly the same as it is in High Energy Heroes, was going to be Revenant's new ultimate. And that was before High Energy Heroes even released. So yet again, another Apex ability thrown into the Chinese mobile version. Now, have you ever wanted a Loba buff? This season we got a lot of support buffs, but no direct buffs for Loba. And I'll give you one. Imagine if her tactical could strafe and move in any direction. Well, in High Energy Heroes, Loba can do exactly that. Instead of just throwing Loba's bracelet, it turns you into her spirit animal and lets you just fly around for a short duration and then pop out wherever you end up. Apex, please take notes. And I dread to think if the Apex developers ever considered this, and that's why it's in High Energy Heroes, but fingers crossed they don't, and now after seeing this, they consider it, because I think that would be an amazing Loba buff, but maybe supports are eating too good right now, so we might have to hold off that one. And lastly, I wanted to talk about this other legend. Now, I couldn't quite figure out who this was supposed to be. I think it's meant to be Watson, because they have a shield regen ability, but God knows where they got the other ideas for this legend's ability, because they're technical. Hear me out, it puts you in an invincible cocoon. That's right, you just protect yourself from any oncoming fire and quickly regenerate your shields. Yeah, you kind of lost me at that one. I hope this doesn't become an ability in the main game. But then we also have the ultimate, which is a little bit like Lifeline's new ultimate. It creates this barrier around you, but this barrier can be shot through, but instead, what happens is anybody inside the barrier can't take damage. That's right, you're invincible while inside this barrier. Not that you can't be knocked or anything, you just physically can't take damage unless the beacon is destroyed. So let's say you just throw this thing behind a bit of cover, or maybe just on the edge of a Gibraltar dome so it can't even be shot. Surely that'll be the most broken ability ever. So Apex devs, don't listen to this one. But there you go, what do you think of the Chinese version of Apex and the crazy abilities that some of those legends have that actually derived from the main game of Apex and could also be potential future Apex abilities that we don't know about yet? I don't know, I think it's a bit of fun, and it's always funny to see when new legends come out in this Apex Mobile ripoff, especially since the game literally started as the official Apex Mobile, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, if you have any ideas for legend abilities that you'd like to see come to the game in the future, drop them in the comments.